May hapon sa tanan? Hapon sa tanan? Mr. Secretary? Mr. Secretary? Okay. Majority floor? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Simple majority. Okay. May hapon sa tanan? The 136 regular session sa gunang panglusod ako yan sa Cagayan de Oro is now called on to order. Please do stand. An invocation. An invocation by Councilor Edgar Cabanlas. Well, he's not around. Absent? Okay. Okay, absent. So, he's doing other business. So, maybe our Councilor Ruben Daba, can you please do our invocation this afternoon? Can you? May hapon kanimo.
May hapon sa tanan. Good afternoon, Vice. Good afternoon sa atong mga kaigsunan. Shall we all bow down our heads in prayer? Dear Lord, thank you for another beautiful sunrise. Every breath I'll take is a gift from you. Thank you, Lord. No matter what we face today, with your help, we know we will be able to endure, overcome, and prevail. We thank you for the advance of your strength and energy that will sustain us, your wisdom that will guide us, and your peace that will fill us. May this day be filled with so many blessings, miracles, and answered prayer. This all we ask in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilor Ruben Daba. And for the singing of our national anthem. And for the Cagayan de Oro March. Mayong hapon sa tanan. Okay. Oh. Mayong hapon, Councilor Suset Mugtahan sa Davao. Mayong hapon kanimo, and so as our to all the regular members of the 19th City Council, mayong hapon kaninyo, and so as to the people who are present this afternoon's regular session, mayong hapon kaninyo, and to those who are watching us via Zoom in the social media, mayong hapon. To all the people of Cagayan de Oro, mayong hapon kaninyo. This moment of time, at our very own Secretary, Arturo de San Miguel, mayong hapon kanimo. Can you do please do the roll and determine if we do have a quorum this afternoon's regular session. Mayong hapon kanimo, Mr. Secretary Arturo de San Miguel.
Good afternoon, Mr. Presiding Officer. For our
Mayong
roll call, Honorable Rener Joaquin VOy, City Vice Mayor and Presiding Officer. For the First District Councilors, Honorable Edna M. Dahino, Honorable J.R. Pascual, Honorable Roger G. Abaday, Honorable Saldi O. Ocon, Honorable George is Goking, Honorable Ruben R. Daba, Honorable Lordan G. Swan, Honorable Romeo V. Calizo. For the Second District Councilors, Honorable Joylene Mercedes L. Balaba, Honorable Maria Lourdes Isgaani, Honorable Ian Mark Yunakaya, Honorable Suzette G. Magtahas Daba, Honorable Enrico D. Salcedo, Honorable Jocelyn B. Rodriguez, Honorable Edgar S. Cabanlas. For the ex-officio members, Honorable Yan Lam is Lim, Liga ng mga Barangay President, and Honorable John Michael Alceno, City SK Federation President. There is quorum, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. So we do have a quorum. We have a quorum, so we may now proceed. Majority Floor Leader, Ayan Mark Kiblat Nakaya, mayang hapon kanimo Majority Floor. You have the floor, Majority Floor.
Mayang
Hapon
hapon,
kanimo.
Mr. Presiding Officer, Vice Mayor Rener Joaquin Velez Kikang Uy, mayong pagputi. Is it GSW or Boston?
You mean the
It's
other
1-1.
NBA Finals game 2? Huh?
Yes. Anyway, so
Cagayan de
1-1.
Oro. Well, Majority Floor, Cagayan de Oro Higalas.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good
another
bet.
another season will be coming
Yeah.
for the Philippine Super League, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, Majority Floor.
Thank you, Mr.
Mayong hapon
Chairman.
kanimo, Majority Floor.
Mayang hapon po sa atong mga kauban o sa fellow Cagayanans and friends from the media. Good afternoon. I move, Mr. Chairman, to dispense with the reading of the minutes of meeting on May 30, 2022 and to consider the furnishing of this copy to every member as the reading itself.
Properly moved by the Majority Floor Leader. Any second from the regular members? Second? Any second? Seconded. Correction. Is there any correction? Correction? There is none. Hearing none? Hearing none. It is hereby approved. It is hereby approved.
I likewise move for the approval of the said minutes of meeting.
For its finality and seconded.
On a special report portion, Mr. Chairman, we have two members who would like to render the respective special reports. First is Councilor Joylene Mercedes L. Balaba. As regards the item number 8 of the previous item in the agenda of the previous City Council session, Mr. Chairman, on the renaming of the Cagayan de Oro Convention Center. And Councilor Roger Abaday would like to render a report as regards his concern on the activities of squatting in the private and public lands in Cagayan de Oro. So Councilors Balaba and Abaday, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Majority Floor Leader. Our first reporter this afternoon, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Balaba. Mayong hapon kanimo, Konsyala. You have the floor.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, our Vice Mayor Kikang Uy.
Mayong hapon.
Good afternoon to my colleagues and our guest this afternoon. My special report pertains to the letter from the Office of the President regarding the bill renaming the Cagayan de Oro Convention Center to Aquilino Pimentel Jr. Convention Center, filed and authored by our 2nd District Representative Rufus Rodriguez, passed by the upper house, and now awaits for the approval of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. From what I have gathered, as I personally took the initiative to ask the Office of the Executive Secretary the reason for the letter addressed to our Mayor, Oscar Moreno, and I learned that it is standard procedure for the President to determine whether there are any objections of any bill by any government agencies before his approval. As it is, I see no reason, and we see no reason, why we should not rename the said convention center to Senator Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr. He is, if I may, considered a local hero of Cagayan de Oro City. His service to our city and our country were most exemplary and worthy of our utmost respect and honor for bringing pride to our beloved city as former Senate President and the father of the local government code, as he authored his most important law for local government units. And let us not forget too that the former and late senator started his political career as mayor of the city from 1980 to 1984 before he became an assemblyman and then as Minister of Interior and Local Government under the presidency of the late President Corazon Aquino before he became a senator. The late senator was indeed a true statesman, and his statesmanship showed knowing that the building he once dreamed and planned and wanted for the city came into reality before he passed on this lifetime. He knew that it would one day be named after him as a tribute and honor for his contribution to our city and country. But instead, he wished it to be named after his successor as city mayor, to Mayor Pablo Ambing Magtahas. Mr. Chair, and to our guests here this afternoon, I had the honor, alongside our colleagues and our incumbent mayor, to have taken our oaths of office before the late Senator Nene Pimentel in 2019, after which, on that same day, he, despite his physical frailties, went to see his dream project, the convention center. And there, my dear colleagues, we witnessed the humility of a statesman that the late senator was. And on this note, may we ask our secretary to play the video clip of the senator's speech during the momentous event in what could have been his first and last visit to the convention center.
Ako ning gisabi, aron may bawat sa katawan ang kinahanglan sumala sa kaingon ng direktor. Kinahanglan mag-atastan at pati na si Mayor Moreno. Magtinamamay kita sa proyekto. Kayo kakabanahin sa gobyerno, dili mo tabang. Tama ka na inudan nga ng pag-delay ang mga proyekto. Sa matter of fact, dili mo sala na itong unang mga tao na nakaligod niya. At tinunay pagkasulti, halos kada tuig ganito, gadugangan ko ang funding para wala reklamo nga wala man may kwarta. So, halos kada tuig dunay akong proposed bill na aprubahan para tugakan ang funding makumpleto ang Cagayan de Oro Convention Center. Gusto natin unta na sumalansampit na sa atong mayor o sa atong engineer nga ang singahan nini kinahanglan unta mabalhin ang kung may mo in honor of Mayor Ambing Magtahas. O gana na katuyuan sa atong pagto may mo buhaton sa City Council.
Yes, from this, Mr. Chair, we see the magnanimity of the heart of our late senator, his generosity to the Magtahas family who donated the lot on which the convention center stands truly showed how remarkable a public official he was. As I have said, he should be honored, emulated, and he is worthy of our respect for his humility and integrity in his service to the people. We see the good intention of our second district representative to rename it after the late Senator Nene Pimentel. But we also see the good intention of the late senator himself to rename it to Mayor Pablo Ambing Magtahas, and we must therefore respect his wish. But taking my initiative further, I found out that letter B of Section 13 of the Republic Act 7160, or an act providing for local government code of 1991 with the subtitle of naming of local government units and public places, streets, and structures, provides the sanggunian of highly urbanized cities and component cities whose charters prohibit their voters from voting for provincial elective officials, hereinafter referred to in this code as independent component cities, may, in consultation with the Philippine Historical Commission, change the name of the following within its territorial jurisdiction. 1, city barangays, upon the recommendation of the Sangguniang Barangay concerned, city roads, public elementary, secondary, and vocational technical schools, city hospitals, and number 5, any other public place or building owned by the city government. Under this provision is an issue that calls for argument, whether the building, the convention center, is considered city-owned or not, since while the building itself was constructed by the national government, a building which started in 2010, left as white elephant for many years, and was only completed with the support of President Rodrigo Duterte's Build, Build, Build program through the DPWH. The lot where the building stands was donated by the Magtahas family. Secondly, under the revised guidelines on the naming and renaming of streets, public schools, plazas, buildings, bridges, and other public structures of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, specifically Section 4, entitled Naming and Renaming of Persons, number 6 says, no public place should be named or renamed after a person within 10 years of his death, except for highly exceptional reason. Example, his death was due to assassination in the service of the country. He or she gave exceptional service to the nation, death while trying to see others, and death was a result of his patriotism, and death while in performance of one's duty. Unfortunately, Mayor Pablo Magtahas died on 2017, and Senator Aquilino Pimentel Jr. died on 2019. We cannot rename yet any public structures in their honor if we diligently subscribe to the said provision. Although we would like to do our duty to give our respect to the late senator by also respecting his wish to rename the convention center to Mayor Pablo Magtahas Convention Center, we are constrained by law to make such action. I therefore ask this august body to file a resolution stating our position against the renaming of the convention center by asking President Rodrigo Roa Duterte to veto the bill and submit the said letter immediately to the Office of the Executive Secretary for the perusal of the President. Thank you and God bless.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Palaba, for all the research and so as the legal aspects about this proposal or this law, maybe or this bill. No? Maybe at the proper time for such a prayer of yours for any resolution in supporting this move or this bill, and so as to veto, and so as maybe can we include Mr. Secretary, maybe we can include the legal basis of such resolution that we will have to pass. We will include that or any attachment for the legality of this basis. Oh, that could be very helpful for this in order for renaming any public institution or any public owned parks or any other buildings.
At the proper time, Mr. Chairman.
at the proper time, So that could be, so that it will appear, the resolution will be appeared completely with legal basis that we are passing to it. Thank you, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Balaba. Well, any comment, any opinion about the special reporter this afternoon? Well, a good special report of ours this afternoon. Thank you, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Balaba. An educative, very precise and concise about that proposal, about that bill. So, any comment? Oh, none. Okay, none. Well, at the proper time for your prayer about that resolution, or to the office of the Malacanang. Thank you, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Balaba.
Will research, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, that is why.
Very laudable,
very
report.
laudable. Very laudable.
Congratulations.
With videos, with
Yes.
supported documents and videos, way back 3 years ago. Way back 3 years ago. That could be 3 years ago. 3 years ago. So well researched, and so as for the legality of
Congratulations,
this.
Councilor
Okay, thank you.
Girly Balaba.
Thank you, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Balaba.
The next reporter is Councilor Roger Abaday, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Councilor Roger Abaday, our next reporter this afternoon. Mayong hapon kanimo kunsian.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presiding Officer, Vice Mayor Renier Joaquin Kikang Uy, Majority Floor, members of the 19th City Council, our friends from the Trimedia, and people who are listening to us virtually in the virtual space and in the gallery. Good afternoon. My special report is concerning about what is happening in Cagayan de Oro City. Now, few days ago, Cagayan de Oro has experienced a bunch of squatters in the city, starting from Barangay Carmin, Barangay Lumbia, and lately in Barangay Makasandig. And notably, these people or this group are coming from outside places in Cagayan de Oro. They are not from Cagayan de Oro, but there are some people in Cagayan de Oro who joined because they were deceived by the purpose, according to my personal interviews, especially in Carmin, Barangay Carmin. So while it is easy to sympathize with the plight of poor homeless families, many informal settlers tend to be abusive, becoming a larger and more difficult issue to deal with for the rightful owner of the property. The property handling of such situation has been an issue so long among squatters, landowners, and law enforcers for a long time, since both parties involved have rights that should be respected. Now, what can we do? Now, with abusive squatters or squatting syndicate or professional squatter taking advantage of tedious and expensive court action, it is sometimes better for the property owners to take advantage of the principle of self-defense for the new or ongoing intrusions. According to the Philippine Association of Real Estate Board, or PARIB, National Chairman Attorney Ray Cartujano, the principle of self-defense, he explained, is when a property owner uses a reasonable force to physically resist intruder or forcibly evicts them using reasonable force, especially if the intrusion is ongoing. He warns, mo nang nitabo sa Makasandig, wagil naka-plaster, no? sa Carmen nakaplaster yung mayo ang ano. So muna naitabo. So that must be done, no? So he warns also that though that is principle must be used with calculation and much restraint, so with the advisable participation of barangay officials and police officers. Our new civil code, particularly Article 429, states that the owner or lawful possessor of a thing has the right to exclude any person from the enjoyment and disposal thereof. That is the doctrine of self-help. Doctrine of self-defense and self-help is just pareho lang, the same meaning. So maybe use such force as may be reasonably necessary to repeal or prevent an actual or threatened unlawful physical invasion or usurpation of his property. So that is cited in this civil code. Now, however, if the property owner does not want to evoke right of self-defense, they can seek help from barangay for amicable settlement or hire lawyers, and that will become most expensive. Muna naitabo karon sa atong barangay Carmen. Purisyo taon ang mga barangay officials o atong kapulisan. Kaya nadiliman, di ba? Wala man ma-ascertain. So, the legal remedy for the property owners for squatting and informal settlers are detailed under Republic Act 7279, other known as the Urban Development Housing Act or UDHA. Section 27 of Republic Act 7279, actions against professional squatters and squatting syndicates. The LGUs, the city, provincia, municipal, and barangays, in coordination with the PNP, Presidential Commission for Urban Poor, or an organization in the area, shall adopt measures to identify effectively and curtail nefarious and illegal activities and professional squatter and squatting syndicates. Further, Section 27 of Republic Act 7279 continues to state that any person or group of identified as such shall be summarily evicted and their dwellings or structures demolished and shall be disqualified to avail the benefits of the program. Any officials who tolerate or abet this commission shall be dealt with according with existing laws. Ang naitabo karon sa Barangay Carmen, nanay notice to be evicted by the court. Pero nangingon ang kanang mga squatter niya nga, they are demanding for relocation. So manang gisakyan nila, di ba? So, professional squatters or members of squatting syndicates shall be imposed the penalty of 6 years imprisonment or a fine not more than 60,000, not more than 100,000, Mr. Chairman. So, this is, I reported this reported this, so that this is a notice to our LGUs, like the barangays, no? What are the responsibilities when found out or detect that there are activities such as like this is happening now in our city of Cagayan de Oro? It affects so much the order and peace and order, so it affects the city, no? So this is special report, Mr. Chairman. I am preparing this special report for immediate action, Mr. Chairman, to the chairman of the Urban Poor and Land Estate, absent Councilor Ed Cabanlas, and to the Committee on Barangay Affairs or to the ABC President for information and guidance for the barangay chairman and council or to the landowners, Mr. Chairman, and what to do just in case this incident will continue occur in our city, Mr. Chairman. So That's my special report, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Roger Abaday. I think our ABC president will be that could be in relaying the information about the guidance and so as to the Committee on Organ 4 to be the the do's and don'ts about taking up these challenges or any taking up this problem in different barangays. So maybe that could be an informative relaying the information about the legality of action of such incidents such as like this. So maybe an informative for the barangay, especially to the barangay officials from the different barangays. Eh, dili ka man sa barangay Carmen, kung dili kadaghan na, o bisag asa na. No? So maybe since we are here to protect, to serve about the the police power of the state, the police as well as the police force will be the one to well execute about the preservation on protecting the lives and not just the lives but also as the property as well. So maybe such a simple reminder for our different government agencies or institutions. So thank you, Councilor Roger Abaday, for the report. Any comment or any other opinion about the reporter this afternoon? Is there any? There is none. So thank you, Councilor Roger Abaday. I think it is already noted by our ABC President, Councilor Yan Lamlim. So as our to relay the information to Councilor Committee Chairman on Urban and Landed Estate, Councilor Edgar Cabanlas. Thank you for the special report this afternoon, Councilor Roger Abaday. Anyway, our business of the day, our majority floor leader, maayong hapon kanimo majority floor.
Maayong hapon, Mr. Chairman. May I proceed to items
Me now,
in the agenda proper for items 1, 2, 3, omnibus motion. These items be having the same subject matter. One is proposed resolution number 2022-127, returning to the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay number 14, the city. It's resolution number 2021-002, series of 2021. Two, proposed resolution number 2022-128, returning to the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay number 21, the city. It's resolution number 001, series of 2022. And three, proposed resolution number 2022-129, returning to the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay number 32, the city. It's resolution number 2022-01, covering the respective annual budgets for calendar year 2022 with estimated incomes with the information that said resolutions are operative in their entirety. Move for the approval of items 1, 2, 3, Mr. Chairman.
properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Is there any? Is there any? There is none. Hearing none. Resolution number 2022-127. Resolution number 2022-128. Resolution number 2022-129. Properly moved and seconded. It is hereby approved.
Dispense second final reading.
Dispense for its finality.
Item number 4 is proposed resolution number 2022-130, returning to the Barangay Council of Barangay Makabalan, the city. It's ordinance number 06-2019. Entitled an ordinance declaring the Barangay Foundation Day of Barangay Makabalan to be celebrated July 7 of each year with the information that said ordinance is operative in its entirety. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Objection? None. Resolution number 2022-130 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense for its finality. Seconded.
Number 5 is proposed resolution number 2022-123, approving and or adopting the supplemental annual budget, annual investment program number 01 for calendar year 2022 of the city government of Cagayan de Oro. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Is there any? Objection? Councilor Lordans one. Okay, and so as
Abstention.
okay, and so as Councilor Councilor Bebot Rodriguez, and so as Councilor Lorenzo. Abstention. There is an abstention. So properly moved and seconded
With 2 abstention.
with 2 abstention about this resolution. Resolution number 2022-123 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense for its penalty. Seconded.
Number 6 is proposed ordinance number 2022-75 appropriating the sum of 85,262 pesos and 64 centavos from the item non-office personal services salary savings under item number 1, City Government Department Head 2 of the Agricultural Productivity Office APO for the period January 1 to 24, 2022 and the 2022 annual budget of the APO to be made available for the payment of salary and year-end bonus differential of the following employees of said office. This, the name and designation is the Neil Vincent Kabakungan and Paul Douglas Kalingin as provided in the matrix or table, Mr. Chairman. Move for its approval.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Seconded. Objection? Is there any objection? There is none. Hearing none. Ordinance number 2022-75. Properly moved and seconded. It is hereby approved.
To dispense second final reading.
Dispense for its penalty. Seconded.
Number 7 is proposed ordinance number 2022-76 appropriating the sum of 1,670 pesos and 10 centavos from the item non-office personal services salary savings item number 1, City Engineer's Office for the period January 7, 2022 and the 2022 annual budget of the said office to be made available for the payment of the salary differential for the period December 1 to 31, 2021 of Mr. Mercio B. Tayaho, Administrative Aid 6, Electrician 2, who was promoted effective December 1, 2021. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Is there any objection? There is none. Hearing none. Ordinance number 2022-76 properly moved and seconded. Since there is no objection after all, it is hereby approved. It is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Its penalty. Seconded.
8 is proposed ordinance number 2022-77 appropriating the sum of 3,609.58 from the item personal services salary savings item number 9 administrative aid 3 municipal trial court in cities for the period January 1 to 9, 2022 and the 2022 annual budget of the municipal trial court in cities MTCC to be made available for the payment of the salary differential for the period of November 2, 2021 of Mr. Junmar M. Paasa, Administrative Aid 4 under the MTCC Branch 2 was promoted effective November 2, 2021. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Is there any objection? None. Hearing none. Ordinance number 2022-77 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Seconded.
Number 9 is proposed ordinance number 2022-78 appropriating the sum of 62,766 pesos and 40 centavos from the item non-office general public services, personal services, terminal leave benefits earmarked for Ms. Mirna Riplagaw, Project Evaluation Officer 2, City Social Welfare and Development Department in 2022 annual budget to be made available for the payment of the terminal leave pay of Ms. Eden D. Doninia, a former social welfare aide casual of the said office whose appointment expired last January 1, 2014. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Is there any objection? There is none. Proposed ordinance number 2022-78 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense with penalty. Seconded.
Number 10 is proposed ordinance number 2022-79 appropriating the sum of 20,205 pesos from the item non-office social services sector water expenses in the 2022 annual budget to be made available for the payment of the unpaid water bill with the Cagayan de Oro Water District of the herein facilities of the city government for the period October to December 2021 to wit, as provided in the table, Mr. Chairman. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Is there any objection? Ordinance number 2022-79 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Seconded.
11 is proposed ordinance number 2022-80, authorizing the Honorable City Mayor Oscar S. Moreno to enter into and sign the memorandum of agreement, MOA, with the Bright Horizons Caregiver Hub and Technical School Incorporated, to be represented by its school president, Mrs. Georgia Gregoria C. Salon, covering the parties' collaboration in the implementation of the school student training program with the city-owned residential care for the elderly located at the Mother Teresa compound, Maitom, Upper Puerto, this city, under the terms and conditions stipulated in the MOA attached thereto. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Is there any objection? Objection? None. Hearing none. Hearing none. Ordinance number 2022-80 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense with penalty. Second.
Number 12 is proposed resolution number 2022-131, approving and or adopting the tourism development plan of the city of Cagayan de Oro for 2022 to 2025. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Objection? None. Hearing none. Resolution number 2022-131 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense with penalty. Seconded.
Number 13 is proposed ordinance number 2022-81, establishing the comprehensive and integrated prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation program, adopting the citywide anti-drug abuse campaign, providing penalties for violation thereof, and for other purposes. Author Councilor Romeo Calizo. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Objection? None. Hearing none. Ordinance number 2022-81 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
For its penalty. Seconded.
Number 14 is proposed resolution number 2022-132, earnestly requesting the water concessionaires in the city to provide the city council with technical advice and assistance for the preparation of program of works and estimated operational costs, including the setting up of water treatment plants for the supply of water to the barangays of Mambuaya, Bayanga, Dansuleon, and Tignapuloan, among others. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader and seconded. Objection? Objection? None. Hearing none. Resolution number 2022-132 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Seconded.
For item number 15 is proposed ordinance number 2022-1, providing. Is this correct? Okay. Providing for the, but in the sequence after the approval. Okay. But, okay, thank you. So as originally encoded in our registry of proposed ordinances, Mr. Chairman, 2022-1, providing for the community-based mental health program and delivery system in Cagayan de Oro City and for other purposes. We have authors, Councilors Jocelyn B. Rodriguez, Councilor Maria Lourdes S. Gaani, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Balaba, and Councilor Rodriguez and Gaani would like to render their sponsorship messages, Mr. Chairman. As requested, Councilor Rodriguez first, then Councilor Gaani.
Ngayong hapon kanimo, Unsihala. Vice
Good
President.
afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, fellow councilors, our friends from media, and of course, our guests who are here today. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Exactly 2 years, 7 months and 22 days ago, I delivered a privileged speech before this honorable council about the rising cases of suicide in our city. So many of our women, mothers, wives, men, husbands, and the young people exacerbated by the ongoing pandemic and other day-to-day stresses in life are affected by mental or psychiatric disorder. Until now, I have so many friends and relatives who are suffering from their mental health conditions. Our current health services are not enough to cater to so many cases of mental health. We need to come up with more focused, institutionalized, and community-based mental health program in our city. This was my call in my privilege speech almost 3 years ago. Although it took us almost 3 years, I come up with this comprehensive ordinance in helping our people. I'm one of those many Cagayanos who is thankful that before this 19th council will be closed, this landmark ordinance has come to its realization. Even with my vast experience in mental health care in the United States of America, but during the committee hearings, I learned a lot from the experts that were invited in sharing promptly their opinions and expertise in mental health. As member of this council, I also learned a lot starting from the filing of my ordinance more than 2 years ago during the committee hearing and today, as I am asking for your support. This ordinance, I learned a lot about our legislative processes involving the upliftment of the quality of life of our people. The experience I learned inspires me to upgrade and enhance our lawmaking process in the next council. Aside from the experts who labored their expertise in adding important provisions to my ordinance, I also thank our co-authors, the chairman of the Committee on Social Services, Councilor Joylene Mercedes Balaba, for referring my ordinance to the City Legal Office for review. Further, I'm also thankful to the expertise and patience of my co-author, chairman of the Committee on Health, my good friend, City Councilor Dr. Lourdes Gaani, for presiding the various meetings and committees in order to come up with these ordinance. It is with this resolve that I'm certain as women legislators in this council promoting the welfare of our people and for the common good, we can indeed pass landmark ordinances despite differences in political color. To my fellow women councilors, thank you so much, Councilor Balaba and Councilor Gaani. In closing, to honor those Cagayanos who passed away because of their mental health conditions, and to so many who are still languishing today in hospitals, health centers, or in their homes, I hope that this ordinance will immediately bring better health services for them. With this, I ask my fellow members of the council to support our ordinance. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Jocelyn Rodriguez. And so as our next Councilor Maria Lourdes Gaani, mayong hapon kanimo.
May ngapon ka natong tanan.
Mayong hapon.
I stand here today to present the draft Cagayan de Oro Mental Health Code of 2022 for deliberation before this August body. This draft is a 3-year undertaking by the Joint Social Services and Health Insurance Committees of the 19th City Council. This landmark ordinance is the first mental health legislation in the city. It is a rights-based law and provides a comprehensive framework for the implementation of optimal mental health care in the city. At the opening of the 19th City Council in July 2019, I was honored to be chosen by my distinguished colleagues to chair the Committee on Health and Health Insurance, which I also headed in the previous council. One of my pet initiatives in the previous council was the drafting of a city mental health code. This is in consonance with RA Republic Act 11036 or the Mental Health Act of 2017. The said act seeks to enhance the delivery of integrated mental health services and promote and protect the rights of persons utilizing psychosocial health services, among others. We started hearings on this at the committee level in the late 2018, inviting experts and interested parties to help us navigate the nuances and intricacies of this complex subject. We were, however, cut short by the midterm elections of 2019. We immediately continued to work on this unfinished draft after the elections. At that point, Kagawa Jocelyn B. Rodriguez delivered a special report offering to co-author a city mental health code.
Kagawa Joylyn Mercedes Balaba then followed suit, generously offering to also co-author the said measure in as much as she chairs the Social Services Committee. And so it came to pass that a rare and commendable bipartisan effort to pass a timely and proper ordinance was forged in the 19th City Council. I am not sure if this had been done before, but you will agree with me that this is something that we should do more often. Our beloved city would surely benefit for such synergy, especially during these dangerous times of persistent pandemics and declining economies. My distinguished colleagues, dear Cagayanons, please join me in giving Kagawad Bebot and Kagawad Girly a round of applause for their efforts in drafting the Cagayan de Oro Mental Health Code of 2022. Without their support and cooperation during the committee hearings, I am not sure if we could have come up with any draft at all. Credit also goes to the technical working group, which work out the details of this technically involved ordinance. This is led by Dr. Jose Coruña, Jr., psychiatrist at the Northern Mindanao Medical Center, and members, Dr. Rachel Ardilla, City Health Officer, Dr. Doris Inihaw, psychiatrist, NMMC, Dr. Gloria Cunanan, Dean of College of Nursing, Liceo de Cagayan University, Director Wilkins M. Villanueva, PDEA Regional Director, Ms. Julie Maisog, Head Nurse, House of Hope Foundation. Dr. Ramon Moreno, Chief of Hospital of the J.R. Bora General Hospital, was instrumental in editing the final draft. Dr. Jose Chan, NMMC Chief of Hospital, gave vital inputs during the committee hearings, as did Dr. Arturo Sordilla of NMMC. I have to make special mention of Dr. Jamie Leonen Pagaspas, the Psychosocial Division Head of the CSWD. Her able stewardship of the committee's secretariat guided the draft ordinance through the stormy waters of conflicting schedules, contrasting ideas, and clashing professional personalities. In closing, we offer this labor of love to our mentally challenged brethren, most of who have suffered in silence long enough. No more would they be disparagingly called mentally retarded or simply retarded. They should now be treated with dignity and compassion that is long overdue. The burden now lies on us to ensure that this generational paradigm shift would be accepted and practiced by all. Thank you, Cagayanons, and God bless. My colleagues, I therefore move for the approval of this proposed ordinance. Thank you, and may hapon kanatong tanan.
Thank you, Councilor Maria Lourdes Gani. So, properly moved and seconded about this proposed ordinance number 2022-1. That's one. Moved and seconded. Objection, is there any? Objection, none. Hearing none. Ordinance number 2022-1 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense with penalty.
Again, congratulations, Mr. Chairman, to Councilors Jocelyn Rodriguez, Maria Lourdes Gaani, Joylyn Mercedes Balaba. For inclusion, Mr. Chairman, we
For
have
inclusion.
items 16, 17, and the one introduced by the reporter, Councilor Girly Balaba, as item number 18. Napatars? Tama na ba? 18. Move for their inclusion, Mr. Chairman.
For inclusion, any second? Seconded. Cagayan Majority Floor Leader, inclusion, item number 16, 17, and so as lastly 18.
18.
Majority Floor.
16 is proposed resolution number 2022-133, endorsing and or interposing no objection to the holding of limited face-to-face early language, literacy, and numeracy assessment for grade 3 and national achievement test for grade 6 classes, or face-to-face graduation and moving up ceremony, as the case may be, of the herein specified schools, subject to the compliance of the requirements or guidelines imposed by the city mayor or the city COVID-19 task force, to wit: A, grade 6 national achievement test, NAT; G6 on June 17, 2022 as listed, Mr. Chairman, the 15 schools. B, early language literacy and numeracy assessment for grade 3 on June 16, 2022 as listed, Mr. Chairman, the 26 schools. And C, face-to-face graduation or moving up ceremony. Westshire Academy, Ipunan, and Kongwa School. Proponent, Councilor Suzette Magtaas Daba. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader and the seconded objection. Objection is there any? There is none. There is none. Hearing none. Resolution number 2022-133 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Seconded.
For number 17, Mr. Chairman, proposed ordinance number 2022-82 authorizing the Honorable City Mayor Oscar S. Moreno to enter into and sign the memorandum of undertaking MOU with the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, Cagayan de Oro City, 2nd District Engineering Office, DPWH, CDOC, 2nd DEO, to be represented by its District Engineer, Gabriel L. Ginitaran, covering the collaboration of the parties in the implementation of the Farm to Market Road projects in the barangays of Indahag, Cugman, Balubal, and Sitio Piligayon, also of Balubal, all of this city in the total amount of 66 million pesos, identified by the Cagayan de Oro City's 2nd District Congressional District Representative, Honorable Rufus B. Rodriguez, and for this purpose, appropriating the sum of 6 million pesos from the current appropriation annual budget calendar year 2022 special programs projects upgrading, concreting of Farm to Market Road, LGU equity of City Agricultural Productivity Office to be made available as the city's 10% equity counterpart therefore certified urgent by the city mayor. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader and the seconded. Objection? Objection? None? None. So ordinance number? Ordinance number 2022-82, properly moved and seconded. Since there is no objection, it is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Seconded.
For item number 18, proposed resolution number 2022-134 expressing the 19th City Council's objection to the renaming of Cagayan de Oro City Convention Center in Barangay Indahag, Cagayan de Oro City to Aquilino Q. Pimentel Jr. International Convention Center in deference to the wishes of the late former Senate President and pursuant to Section 13B of Republic Act 7160 and Section 4 parentheses 6 close parentheses of the revised guidelines on the naming and renaming of streets, public schools, plazas, buildings, bridges, and other public structures of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Proponent, Councilor Joylene Mercedes L. Balaba. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority floor leader. Any second? Seconded. Objection? Objection? None. Hearing none? Hearing none. Resolution number 2022-134 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense for its finality. Any second? Seconded.
Corollary to that, Mr. Chairman, we will request our secretary to immediately submit the same to the Office of the President for its own copy and appropriate action. Considering that we are
There is a time limit.
yes, Mr. Chairman.
And so as the urgency of the said
There being no other pending, Mr. Chairman, before this August body, move to adjourn.
session adjourned.